This meeting is being recorded.
All right, we're back. Thank you all for joining us for part two. We're very excited to keep going to learn more from Pepe's experiences. Yeah, so I have a question. Actually, I have like kind of two questions, but I'll just ask one first. So, Chris told me that you're a math and computer science major.
Yes,
And
sir.
so I'm curious why why math, why computer science? How'd you get there from your unique, education journey? What brought you there?
So, math, I've always been a math fan. Math has always been my favorite subject. My mom was a mathematician, so she has always been like a big inspiration to me. I've always wanted to be what she was, even though now she studies major in statistics, not something I really enjoy, but whatever. So yeah, I've always wanted to do math since I was really, really young, and my travels around the world have never changed that. When I was younger, I wanted to do math with physics, but then when I went to UWC and I did IB, I had physics, and it made me change my plan. And now that I got here, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do math. But then because of all the credits that I got from UWC, I have still a lot of classes that I can take, and I'm really advancing my math major, and we don't have that many math classes here. So I decided to jump into computer science because I always thought it was really interesting. I took my first class last semester, and I really, really enjoyed it. So I decided to like pursue the major. But to be honest, right now, I would say that I'm a math major that is doing computer science too. But math is my main major.
That's awesome. So, kind of my follow-up
Yeah.
question is, you mentioned earlier that UWC was awesome because, well, Canada and then UWC awesome because you had the experience of learning where it was more about understanding than memorizing. How would you kind of compare that to your time in college now? What would you say about Richmond and the education you're receiving there?
I feel like both Canada and UWC have helped me a lot for that transition because if I had come straight up from Spain, I would have had a more difficult time because here there's way more projects, way more homework, and the professors actually give you way more time for everything. They're actually way more understanding for everything. Back there, it was just basically memorization, memorization, and that's it. But here, they care more about you understanding everything. And I would say that even though like nobody likes homework, but I would say that the fact that they give us so much homework actually helps a lot for us to understand because we have more opportunities to understand that those certain topics, and the fact that they actually take into consideration for the final grade the homeworks makes them not be just like work that we shouldn't care about. We actually get to know and to learn way more with this kind of learning experience. And yeah, compared to Spain, I'd say that it's way better. In Spain, college is I haven't experienced it, but I have a lot of friends that are still in college, and they always talk about how hard it is. In Spain, grades are way lower because it feels like they're punishing you with exams. You only have one final exam, and that's it. They don't take into consideration any other thing that you do, and that is, from my point of view, not really fair because you can have a bad day, you can have that topic that you don't really understand, but if the professor actually gave you more time and actually cared about you learning, which is what they do here, you will be way better in the future. And that's why the US has the best education in the world, and that's why a lot of people from Europe dream to come to the US to get a better education because here you actually get to know about what you want to learn, and your majors, your degrees actually show that you have understood what you are going to become in the future.
It's awesome. Really puts it into perspective for anybody watching who's a U.S. citizen who's going to college in the United States right now and might occasionally, want to complain about their homework, their exams. Really puts into perspective that we're pretty lucky here to have a really great education, higher education system.
Yeah. Um, kind of like different question, kind of unrelated, but like, overall, like, you've lived in a lot of different places. For me and Ian, like at least, we've traveled places, but we really haven't lived anywhere else besides the US. Can you just explain like the differences between like, I know last summer you traveled to a lot of places, maybe you can talk about a little about that, but also like differences between like traveling somewhere and being a tourist versus like actually living there, doing your schoolwork there, and kind of like how that has shaped you, both being a tourist and both like living somewhere completely different.
Yeah. Great question, Chris. Um, my dad has always said that what what can you know if you haven't read or you haven't traveled? So like always they have tried to make me like read a lot, and then they've always made really important the traveling part of it. Even though we travel a lot, but we didn't travel internationally too much, they've always put that seed in me that to want to travel abroad and living in a place and traveling to a place for a couple of days for a vacation is very different because when you travel to a place for a vacation, you get to do all the touristic stuff, which I am perfectly fine with. There's a lot of people that complain that when you travel that they're not like the typical touristic person that just like goes to the touristic places and that's it. But I feel like if you travel just like for a couple of days, I feel like you have to go to those places because they're touristic for a reason. They're important. If you get to if you get to live for longer periods of time in a place, then I believe that you have to do more than that. The good thing about being able to live in a place is that you get to know the locals way more, and they are the people that are going to change your experience and make change your mind because they're actually going to show you how the life in that country is. I was really lucky that in Canada, I had a lot of Canadian friends that showed me how is everything. They introduced me to like what they do, how is their routine, even how they make friends. In Canada, it's really different to how we make friends in Spain. How you like live after, it's really different to how we do it in Spain. Now here in the US, I see like the party culture is way more different than in the US. Um, People here in general look way nicer when you're in class. In Spain, like nobody, like in your college, nobody cares about you unless you go talk to them. But maybe they're actually a little bit more social outside of class rather than in class. And then in Tanzania, even though I lived in a really like close community, we were able to go out a lot and to share experience with a lot of locals. And as I was saying, that is the part that is gonna change you the most because you get to see the world through other people, like through another lens. I would say, if you just go to a place for um for a couple days, which is what most of us do. Not everybody has like the opportunities to like actually live in different countries. You only get to see a little bit of that country, a little bit of the culture, a little bit of the food. But when you live there for longer periods of time, you actually get to see how rich that place is and things that you wouldn't even know if you didn't get to talk to the people there.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great insight. I don't have much to add, meaning that I haven't experienced that, but that's definitely something I hope to achieve at some point, living in a different area, other than the US.
You're going to
Um,
Denmark next semester, so
yeah, I don't know if I told the podcast, but yeah, I'm going to Copenhagen, in the fall. So yeah, I'll get own experience, my own experience of living somewhere new for once, somewhere completely different where I don't speak the language. But I'm excited. Yeah, that's gonna be interesting, and hopefully, can give me some of the things Pepe is talking about. Maybe it'll come out a little bit more open-minded, and see a new way of life. So yeah, I'm excited for that.
will there be podcast still when you guys are like
Of
in
course,
different countries?
It's gonna
of
be a
course,
time. There's gonna be a time difference, Chris.
So Ian, you want to end the podcast? We just
I didn't
started this.
say that.
That's what you're
I didn't say
implying.
that.
That's what you're implying. I thought we could work
I'm
through
so,
anything.
We can. I'm just saying we're gonna have to
Well,
like
you're
we
just
gotta think
suggesting
about
we
it.
can't work through this,
I
Ian.
didn't say that.
I'm sorry. I didn't want to start this topic here. My
It's all
bad.
right. It's all right. What's the time? Is the time difference in Denmark? What is it? Do you know?
Like 6 hours, maybe.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
6 hours.
it's not too bad.
I mean, I'll make it work if you want to make it work, you know.
I'll make it
Oh,
work.
Yeah, and then it's settled. Then. I don't know why we're arguing then.
You started the argument.
What do you mean? You started it. Have it back me up here.
I wanna be neutral here.
Oh,
I don't wanna.
okay, whatever.
All right. Well, if you don't have a question, Chris, I have one that kind of piggybacks off yours. Um, so kind of a term that I was somewhat familiar with, but that I came upon more when I was trying to, get some more information about this topic for the podcast was the phrase global citizenship. Um, Kind of for anybody who's watching the podcast who doesn't know, just like the general idea, right, that everybody is a citizen of the world, that we can come together, we can break down the cultural, social barriers that separate us, work together on policies that involve sustainability, helping the world, helping each other, just really recognizing that we're all citizens of the same world. Um, so I'm curious, Pepe, is that something that you feel like you've encountered during your time? And then like a follow up to that, if it is, do you think that's something that's important now more than ever that we as a global community embrace, with all the changes that are going on?
Yeah, great question. Global citizen is a word that I've encountered a lot in UWC. That they would use it a lot. I feel like it's a word that is overused in a way. I love the global citizen idea, but sometimes it's tied a little bit with globalization, which I don't really like that much because I feel like it's those differences that we have that make us special, and that if we are able to like go through those differences and like live with those differences, then we can become global citizens. But it doesn't mean that we should all like try to become the same person. I feel like it is those different experiences that we've left, those different lives, and those different ideas that make this world the beautiful place that it is. But the idea of global citizen as like that everybody should come together and like work together towards a better world. Yes, that is basically the motto, the mission of a school like UWC, and I feel like that is something that nowadays it is more important. The moments that we're living right now, I feel like we have to understand how each one of us brings something new to the table, and that we should all try to listen, to get together to just to just try to live in a more peaceful and better world. I know it is really difficult. Sometimes it's really difficult to like talk with somebody that has different ideologies to yours. But after all, we have to see more of like see the differences less and see what like unites us more. And I feel like some people forget that. And yeah, I feel like after traveling so much, I've been able to encounter so many different people that have expanded my ideas and expanded my views of the world. I have changed my mind on a lot of topics. I have like by some people, my ideas have become stronger. And both things are okay, to change your mind and to be more um, to know that you're to believe more in your ideas. So I feel like people should be open to that, to change, to not change, but to at least talk, because that's how we get to a better ending for all of us.
Thank you. Thank you for that answer. That's awesome. Chris, do you have any more questions? Because I still have a couple, but I want to let you jump in here if you want to.
No, keep firing away, and yeah, I love this conversation, really, and I can sense a friendship forming. I feel the vibes. I feel the vibes.
I love it. I would love to.
Love it. Yeah. All right. So I'm curious, like when you think about an issue like climate change, one that's affecting everybody, perhaps not equally necessarily, but definitely a big global issue. How do you envision kind of this idea of global citizenship, international education in general, helping us come together to solve a problem like that?
Well, that's a really difficult question. obviously I don't want to talk with absolutes here because I'm not like I'm not an expert on climate change. I'm not an expert on like international policy or anything like that. I do believe that the closer we're together and the more conversations that we have with each other, the closer we're gonna get to an ending that is gonna be better for all of us. In UWC, you sometimes when you're like in a first world country, like it might be Spain or it might be the US, you might like see just certain things or like, oh, we need to recycle or whatever, whatever. But we don't really see the bigger picture of how like some of our countries are imposing all of this ideas and all of this measurements and like policies on countries that are not the ones that have been polluting the most, and that by putting all of these policies, we're actually like repressing them more and putting like way more obstacles on their journey to become a more developed country. Yeah, I believe that equity in this case it is really important. We cannot ask for every country and for every person to do the exact same thing. But I do believe that it's something that is that we are all responsible for. Some more than others, obviously coming from a person that is right now living in one of the most polluting countries in the world. You gotta be, you gotta understand that, and you cannot like just forget that you are part of the problem. And I believe that if we start thinking like that, we start like understanding that we are part of the problem, we will be able to get to uh, an ending that we all like, I guess. Yeah. I don't know if I answer your question.
Yeah, yeah, you absolutely did. It was a pretty broad question, but I think where you went with it was great. So I think I'm gonna jump to like a different area now, if that's okay with both of you guys.
Yeah, of course.
Honestly, just curious. What's your favorite math class that you've taken?
Oh, wow. My favorite math class. So I would say, based on my professor, she was the best professor I've had. It was Introduction to Abstract Math. That's the
Mhm.
kind of math that I really enjoy, a more pure abstract part of it. And then from that, I took Real Analysis 1. And that is probably the one that I enjoy the most. I feel like that is the purest math I've taken so far. Right now, I'm taking abstract algebra. It's a really challenging class, but I really like real analysis because it was in a way I got to learn where all of those formulas and all, like all of those theorems of calculus that we learned when we were younger, where they come from and how to prove them and how like people actually got to that point where nowadays we just use them. Like most of us use them without even thinking about it. So seeing the reasoning behind it, I is something that I really enjoy. And right now, so far, I mean, I still have a lot of classes to take, but I feel like that's where I want my math career to go to.
That's awesome. Do you obviously you've got a lot of time to figure out what you want to do in the future. I have no idea what I want to do. Do you have any idea what you want to do, like research, academia?
Yeah, I mean, I've always wanted to dedicate my life to research. Obviously, I don't know yet in what. I'm pretty new to the math world as I know it, and I feel like there's a lot of new stuff that I want to learn and that I need to learn in order to have that decision. Last semester, I was a TA for math, and that actually like opened my mind to maybe in the future being a math professor. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed helping like others like get to know about something that I knew that I was really into, like it was abstract math. And I feel like I will be in the future both something like that. If I end up staying in the US, it will be way easier because most of the academia here also does their own research. So that's something that I would probably really, really enjoy. But again, I don't know on what yet. This summer, I'm gonna do some research on a topic that I've never heard about. So maybe I discover something new there, or maybe I discover that I don't really like it. So yeah, I'm really open-minded right now.
That's awesome. Yeah, Chris, you got anything?
Yeah, yeah. This is like a what?
Nothing, nothing, sir.
No, this is a pretty deep question. Pepe, you've traveled all over the world. You've seen a lot of experiences. I have a lot of experiences, met a lot of different interesting people. Um, Out of all the people you've met and all the friends you've made, like who's your favorite friend of all time?
I don't think I can answer that question without. I don't think I have a favorite person. I mean, my favorite friend is my two brothers, I would say, but I guess that you don't want to count them. Also, we know that Chris has beef with one of my brothers, with a 14-year-old, currently 14-year-old, but that happens. Everybody that I've met throughout my life has shaped me in a way, Chris. Has changed me, has given me new humor, new ideas. Some better than others. Some I will have them in a better I will have better memories with them than others. But I feel like everybody has shaped me to become the person that I am, Chris. You are one of my favorites for sure, though.
He could have just said, "Yeah, I don't like you."
No, you're one of my favorites. You're one of my favorites.
Genuinely, you could have just said that. It would have been fine. Like, you didn't have to go in that whole
You're
rant.
you're one of my best friends, Chris. You're one of my best friends.
Yeah, thanks. One of them, whatever. Ian, do you have
You
any other
you you
questions?
intro, you introduced me as one of my good friends. You didn't even say best friends, great friends. You said Pepe is one of my good friends. Don't tell me now.
Um, I mean, if we're on this topic, I actually have maybe my most important question. You talked about, how much you like rom-coms earlier. I think one of the most pressing questions in my mind, I think in the minds of the viewers, is what are the recent developments in Chris Carr's love life?
Wow, I'm being told right now that I cannot answer that question for legal reasons. I feel like that question should be directed towards Chris Carr. I feel like he could tell you more about this ongoing or not ongoing, um, fight with the little guy with the arrows. The hard baby, Cupido. Some people call it Cupid.
Chris, you care to comment?
Yeah, there's gonna be no comments on that. Ian, I kind of feel disrespected with the question you just asked me. I think we're gonna have some discussions after this podcast about that.
You serious? What about what you asked me earlier about my date to the dance? You know I didn't have
Well,
a date.
obviously you do, obviously you have nothing going on, bro.
Bro,
Obvious.
Hey, yeah, 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 yeah. That's not
All
nice.
right, all right. Maybe at some point we can update, but I'm not gonna give any updates on this podcast. Maybe one day. It's more fun to talk about other people. When things affect you, you realize maybe I'm a bad person. Like maybe I shouldn't be saying the things I say. But at the same time, I really enjoy it. So
So do you? So should Ian also like comment on yours? Like Ian doesn't know anything. Like nothing about anything about you, Chris. You don't tell them about your life.
I tell Ian some stuff.
no, he doesn't.
Wow,
Really?
wow.
All right. Oh, um, wow. I think I'm getting a little exposed right now. Um,
It's okay.
you
It's
know.
okay.
No, I mean, no, I mean, Ian, Ian, we'll sit down, and Ian, you can tell me about your stuff, and I can tell you about mine, and we can catch up.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I'm sure you have a lot to share. Um,
Maybe I do.
yeah, I don't know. I hope so. Um, I don't know. Personally, like, it's just something I don't talk about often, I guess. Um,
That's good.
Any,
Keep it private. Keeping it private
oh,
is a way better
it's
way
just,
of.
a lot of people watch this podcast, so, wide range of audiences, that's not something.
You never know. You never know who's gonna hear this. Now that we're in this topic, shout out to my girlfriend. Shout out Leah.
Yeah, shout out Leah. She's awesome.
Yeah,
Hopefully she watches this. I don't know if she's watched the other ones.
I'm in it. She has to watch it. If not, like that might be a.
Leah, if you're watching to this point, comment applesauce. Let's hope
Yep.
she does. That would give her a
Let's
lot of
hope she
brownie
does.
points. I sent her a reel earlier. She liked it.
She liked it.
Compared, I'm not gonna say any other names. Um, Virginia, but yeah, some people don't like my reels. But
Some people don't have taste, Chris. Your reels are
I'm
top
just trying to be
notch.
friends with everyone. I'm trying to be friends with everyone. Some people don't appreciate my friendship. That's all.
Yeah, really, really surprising characteristic of yours. I never thought that Chris was as social as I found out that he was this year. Chris has come out of his shell. He's a new person. I would say from freshman year to sophomore year. Chris is he likes to talk. He likes to talk.
Wow, actually a nice thing said. Wow, I'm kind of shocked. I don't know how to respond. But thank you.
Anytime, anytime.
So, I think we talked about a lot. Ian, any last questions you want to deal out before we close things up?
No, I think that's everything that I have.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Like I said, Pepe has a lot of stories to share. We didn't even get into a lot of them. So which is kind of unfortunate, but there's only so much time we can record for. So we'll have to have you back at some point, Pepe. There's always more to talk about with you.
I would love to. I would love to.
Yeah, I really appreciate you coming on, spending the time out of your day to come talk with us. I think it's a great, we're trying to get a lot of diverse perspectives on our podcast. So yeah, it was great to have, our first like actual like kind of diverse person, someone that's not like a American white man, I guess.
Yeah.
So we got some representation. Yeah, but next week we're crazy. Maybe we'll have the opposite gender on the podcast. That's gonna
Oh wow.
big, yeah, big step
That's
in
scary.
representation.
That's really scary.
I know.
That's really scary.
I'm kind of scared of girls. Ian's really scared of girls. So yeah, it might go a little south. We'll see how it goes. You know, um, it should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, really honored to be in this podcast. Really honored to be the first proper guest. Not trying to throw
No,
at
throw
anybody.
throw the shade. Throw the shade. Throw the
I
shade
don't
at
know.
me.
I don't know
We know who
people
you're
enough.
talking about. We know you talk. We throw the shade. I mean,
It's okay. It's
he
okay. It's
deserves
okay.
it. He deserves it.
He has gotten way too much hate from certain people in this podcast. I think he did a great job. I think he did a great job.
Well, some people can. I respect your own opinion, but I might differ sometimes.
Nate, we're talking about you. In case you're watching this, we're talking about you. Yeah.
I just said that, but okay.
You didn't say his name.
Yes, I did, Ian.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. Go watch it back.
What do you mean watch it back? It's being live
All right.
recorded right now. I can't watch it back. It's not a
All
video.
right. When you post it, go watch it.
I will.
Okay. And then next episode, you can talk about how you're wrong and apologize to me.
Yeah, or you can apologize to me.
Now you can do it now, Ian. He did say it.
See?
Pepe.
See?
It's better to get it out of the way now, Ian. Imagine how much he would be texting you later.
All right. Chris, I am sorry.
Why
You
are
can
you
cut
sorry?
that part. You can cut that part. You don't need to do it.
Why are you sorry?
Are you serious?
I want an actual apology.
What do you mean?
Give me an apology now.
I'm sorry for saying that you didn't say Nate's name.
Good boy.
Stop.
All right. I think that's all I got. Thanks for watching, guys. If you watch this point, we really appreciate it. Please leave a comment, leave a like. We appreciate all the love we can get. And yeah, exciting things coming.
Yeah.
Thank you, Pepe, again.
Yeah, thank you, Pepe.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Thank you.